Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. Autumn Promise, Episode 1. A New Beginning. The sound of rain tapping against the car roof was the only thing keeping her company as Evelyn Cross pulled up to the narrow cobblestone street of Ashmere Hollow. She hadn't been back in 15 years, and the town looked frozen in time, just quieter, smaller somehow, as though it had been holding its breath waiting for her return. The old bookshop stood at the corner, its windows fogged with age, its sign, cross and quill, faded but still elegant. Her aunt's handwriting had always been graceful, curling and warm. Evelyn stepped out, clutching the ring of keys she'd been mailed after the funeral. The moment the air hit her, she caught that distinct scent of wet leaves, paper, and coffee that seemed to linger around this street no matter the season. Autumn in Ashmere Hollow was always gold and russet, full of memories she hadn't wanted to unpack. The bookstore's lock clicked with hesitation, like the building wasn't sure it wanted to let her in. Inside, the air was thick with dust and stories, thousands of pages that had been waiting for hands to touch them again. She flicked the light switch and the hanging bulbs flickered to life, spilling a soft amber glow over the shelves. Her aunt's touch was everywhere, tiny potted plants on the window sills, the old clock that never kept proper time, the creaky floorboard near the poetry section. Evelyn dropped her bags on the counter and just stood there, staring at the chaos she'd inherited. Boxes of unsorted books, stacks of invoices, and a faint smell of varnish drifting through the open back door. That smell wasn't part of the shop. It was new. She walked toward the noise, steady hammering, rhythmic and precise. In the alley between her store and the old hardware shop next door, a man was crouched beside a half-built shelf, tool belt slung around his hips. He looked up when she stepped outside. "Didn't mean to startle you," he said, wiping sawdust from his hands. "You must be Evelyn." She blinked, surprised. "How do you?" "Word travels fast around here. I'm Daniel. I do the carpentry for most of the shops on this street. Your aunt asked me to fix the side door months ago, but, well." He hesitated, his gaze softening. "I'm sorry about her passing." "Thank you." Evelyn folded her arms, trying to keep her tone polite but guarded. "I didn't expect anyone to still be working here. She left a few things unfinished. Thought I'd make sure the place didn't fall apart before you got here." Daniel's voice carried a calm warmth that contrasted with the chilly drizzle. He had the kind of face you couldn't easily place, late 30s maybe, sun-kissed skin, dark hair just long enough to curl when damp. His eyes, though, that shade of hazel that flickered between green and gold depending on the light, felt strangely familiar. Evelyn brushed the thought aside. "I appreciate it, really. I'll be sorting through things for a while, so you can just continue whatever you need to finish." He smiled, slow and knowing. "If you need any help, just knock. I'm not far." The next few days passed in a blur of dust and discovery. Evelyn worked from dawn till dusk, sorting the stacks, wiping shelves, trying to bring some order back to the chaos. The town welcomed her with cautious smiles, Mrs. Harrow from the bakery bringing apple tarts, the postman greeting her with stories about her aunt's generosity. It felt like stepping back into a painting she'd once belonged to, though the edges were frayed. Daniel was a constant presence outside, his hammer tapping against the wood like a heartbeat. Sometimes he'd stop by with coffee or lend her his ladder. They spoke in small exchanges at first, weather, repairs, the endless task of cleaning, but there was an ease between them she couldn't explain. On the third evening, she found him fixing the frame of the front window. The golden light of sunset spilled across the floorboards, casting a warm glow on his profile. "Why did you stay in Ashmere Hollow?" she asked, leaning against the doorframe. "Most people I knew couldn't wait to leave." Daniel chuckled. "I guess I'm not most people. I like quiet places. I like things that tell stories without words." She smiled faintly. Like wood? Like people, he said softly, eyes meeting hers. For a moment, the silence between them carried something unspoken, something both comforting and unsettling. Evelyn broke it first, glancing away. You said my aunt left things unfinished. What did you mean? Daniel hesitated, setting down his hammer. There was something she was working on before she passed. A letter, I think. She mentioned it once, said it was meant for you. Evelyn frowned. A letter? I didn't find one among her things. She kept it in a wooden box in the attic, or so she told me. Said it wasn't time yet. A strange chill crept up Evelyn's spine. Did she say what it was about? No, only that you'd understand when you read it. Later that night, curiosity gnawed at her until she gave in. The attic door creaked open like an old secret being disturbed. The air smelled of dust and forgotten summers. She pulled the string for the hanging bulb, illuminating rows of stacked boxes labeled inventory, receipts, donations. It took nearly an hour before she found it. A small cedar box tucked behind a pile of old novels. The lock was simple, the key still in place. Inside lay a folded piece of parchment tied with a blue ribbon. Her aunt's handwriting curled across the front. For Evelyn. When you are ready. Her heart raced. She hesitated, fingertips trembling over the knot. Something about the box felt heavier than it should, like it carried more than paper. When she finally untied it and unfolded the letter, her breath caught. My dearest Evie, if you are reading this, it means the time has come for truth to meet memory. There are things about your childhood that I never had the courage to tell you, things your mother asked me to guard. The answers are here, in this town, hidden among the stories you once loved so much. Seek the one who remembers. He will help you see what was taken from you. It was unsigned. No closure, no hint beyond that cryptic message. Evelyn read it again and again, her mind spinning. Who was the one who remembers? Her thoughts jumped immediately to Daniel. The way he'd looked at her when they first met, the flicker of recognition that didn't make sense. The way he seemed to know things she hadn't told anyone. The next morning, she found him in the alley again, sanding the edge of the shelf. Daniel, she called, holding the letter. Can we talk? He turned, expression unreadable. Of course. This. She handed him the parchment. My aunt said I should find the one who remembers. Do you know what that means? Daniel's eyes darkened as he read the words. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, carefully folding the letter, he met her gaze. Yes, he said quietly. I know exactly what it means. Evelyn felt the world narrow around them. Then tell me. Daniel looked past her, toward the old bookstore, as if seeing something long buried beneath its walls. It means the past isn't what you think it is, Evelyn. And you're not here by accident. A gust of wind swept through the alley, scattering golden leaves between them. Then what am I doing here? She whispered. He took a slow breath, the kind that carried years of silence. You came back to remember what you were made to forget. The words hit like a stone dropped into still water, rippling through her chest, stirring everything that had been quiet for too long. Before she could speak again, the light above them flickered and went out. Somewhere deep in the shop, a crash echoed, books tumbling to the floor as if disturbed by unseen hands. Daniel's gaze snapped toward the sound, his jaw tightening. It's starting, he murmured. Evelyn stepped back. What's starting? He looked at her then, his hazel eyes now shadowed with something like fear. Your memories, he said. And the truth about why you left. The rain began again, soft, relentless, and full of secrets. For more stories, like and subscribe.